there are moms out there going, this sounds great. And I feel like my kitchen, maybe my living room could be organized. But let's talk about kids and all the things. So, two things. How do we organize our kids' things? And how do we deal with the twice a year onslaught of new stuff, Christmas and a birthday, where it's like, oh, good, more stuff to figure out to put places.
Yeah.
And the kids love it. So you don't, do you say no? Do you say, please don't buy our kids more things? How do you deal with it?
So there's so much, so much. So I think children are born with a little bit of a hoarding tendency. They love to keep everything. They think everything is special, which is so awesome, but they will want to keep like every shell and every rock they find. And that's just how it is. And I haven't seen, I've seen that across the board for many, many kids that I've worked with.
By the way, we brought a dead fish home from the lake yesterday. So that my son
How long are you going to keep that, Courtney?
So until he dissects it. My son wants to dissect it and look at
Hopefully
it. And
soon.
Yeah, then it needs to go.
Soon. Or it's too stinky. Yeah, I think that I believe that organization is a skill we need to teach our kids, just like reading, writing, a bike, all of that, because I don't want children to grow up and feel overwhelmed in their own home, which is what I deal with a lot. And it makes me sad. So I taught my kids this process from a young age. Now there's a lot of things going on here. There's a part where mom thinks that her way is the best. And if they put that organizing piece onto the child, then they don't do it the way they want it. And so they just do it themselves. We can't
never heard that. Never,
ever.
We
can't do that anymore. We're raising someone's future spouse and future employee. So we need to remember that. But also we need to teach kids that it's okay to pass things on to others when we are done loving and using it. And that is a blessing. I used to tell my kids before Christmas would come and before they were going to get inundated with more stuff, I would say, let's go through your room and let's find some stuff that you can gift to another child. And I would explain, there's kids that don't have dolls. There's kids that don't have these Matchbox cars. So let's, and I would praise them, like make them feel really important for doing that. And then they would get used to it as a tradition every year. We would do that before, and it would be like, they would be excited. And so just being an example and teaching that, but also making it super easy for those toys and the games, making like getting down, even if you have to get on your hands and knees and see things at their eye level. I think a lot of times we have this bigger brain and we're taller and we have more experience. We're like, how hard is it to put your books on the shelf? We think it's so easy. But to them, it's overwhelming. So you're not doing your children a good service by having too much stuff in their space, because it's overwhelming. Of course, they're going to pull it all out and play, and that's great. But to put all of it back is too overwhelming. So what I used to do is when I would cut their toys in half and I would flip flop them. So I would put half of them away. And then every 6 months I would flip flop them, and they would think it was Christmas all over again because they forgot about them.
Yeah.
It's just like when you clean out clutter and you find toys, and you're going to I also run a family consignment event, and it helps families clutter. And then we help charities. So when the kids see what their mom is bringing out of their car to sell, they're like, I love that. I play with that all the time. And she's like, no, you don't. And they forgot about it. So flip flop. And then it's okay as a mom to make decisions for your kids. If you know their room is too overwhelming and they haven't touched a lot of things, I think a lot of moms think, oh, I can't go in there and I can't help that situation because it's their stuff. But they are not mature enough to make all of those decisions yet. So it's perfectly okay to go in and kind of eliminate some things if you know that it's not as important as they think it is, because they're going to naturally want to hang on to that stuff.
Yeah.
So I really think it's important to teach them to have open hands, and that stuff is not what brings you joy. it can bring you temporary joy, but it's not going to be lasting joy. And you can use a, you know, example of a previous age. So if they're 8 years old, you could say, well, do you still want to play with your rattles from when you were a baby? And they would be like, no, what are you, crazy? Yeah. But it's like, it's okay, because you go through stages of growing up and we let things go, and then we're into new things, and then we let them go, and then we're into new things. So just teaching and guiding and making it fun. Just make it fun. Don't make it so complicated. If you have 4 bins and they're all different colors, just say the cars go in the red bin. Let's put all of the cars to bed before we go to sleep. You know, who can put the cars to sleep faster or whatever. Just make it fun. Don't be like, you're not getting ice cream if you don't put your Matchbox cars away, because that's not that exciting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Make it fun, praise a lot, and cut things in half.